Hello again. Every so often, I see a piece in the newspaper which leaves me gaping open-mouthed in astonishment, hardly able to believe what I'm seeing. This was the case yesterday when I read the following opening lines of the article, to which I give a link in the description to this video. Britain will use its naval expertise to help Ukraine control the Black Sea as part of a 10-year security pact to be signed in the coming weeks. It seems that we are assigning 2 warships on permanent duty to the Black Sea. You know, that part of the world thousands of miles away, to help another country control the waters around its coast. Now, I dare say that I'm an old-fashioned jingoist, but would it be asking too much if we were to expect our government first to gain control of the waters around our own coast? We're enduring a slow-motion invasion from the shores of France, with small inflatables packed to the gunwales with young men of fighting age, chiefly from South Asia and the Middle East, and yet no efforts are being made to prevent these characters from landing. Quite the opposite, in fact. We send out boats to greet them and bring them safely ashore in our country. What actually does our government suppose that the purpose of a navy is? A quick look at the website of the Royal Navy confirms that my ideas about its role are not as out of date as I feared. It seems that their world-class warships are being used for safeguarding territorial waters. I observe that the other 2 uses which are given are hunting pirates and delivering humanitarian aid. Nothing about hanging round the Crimea on the off chance that we can give the Russians a rematch on the war which we fought against them there in the 1850s. I cannot help but wonder if a better use for our ships might not be to try and secure the North Sea and the English Channel, rather than worrying about the Black Sea. There is, I fancy, plenty of scope there for action. 50 years ago, if small inflatables loaded with young foreigners who were trying to enter the country illegally without going through customs or landing at a port were to have been detected, then efforts would have been launched to stop them and prevent them from approaching too near the coast of Britain. That is the primary reason for having a navy in the first place, to protect the integrity of our borders and to guard our territorial waters. It was for failing in this duty that King Charles I was ultimately deposed from the throne and executed in the 17th century. The English Civil War itself was triggered by a number of significant disputes, not least that over the payment of what was then known as ship money. This was bound up with the failure of the Royal Navy to protect England from the Barbary corsairs. The refusal of some important men to pay this tax was not only a cause of the Civil War, but was also a deciding factor in the choosing of sides when the war eventually did erupt. As Trevelyan puts it, the adherence of the sea-going population and of the Royal Navy itself to the parliamentary side of the quarrel bore witness to the patriotic character of Hampden's refusal to pay an illegal tax. In short, it was the Royal Navy's inability or unwillingness to tackle the problem of shiploads of foreigners entering this country's territorial waters at will, which was a major factor in causing the English Civil War. I don't, of course, mean to suggest that matters are likely to reach such a crisis today, because of a populace discontented with the fact that their navy cannot apparently guard our waters against intruders, but it does go to show how seriously such matters were once treated in this country, and how we seem to have lowered our expectations of what the navy's proper job should be. I am, of course, well aware that many viewers of this channel are what the press habitually describes as far right, but even making allowance for this, it would be interesting to know how many people watching this think that helping a foreign power to maintain control of its territorial waters is of greater importance than keeping control of our own territorial waters. I really cannot help but think that we must have taken a wrong turn somewhere and got ourselves a bit muddled up about this country's priorities.